Oh, well, hey, babe. It's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Listen, Love is Blind is back with 3 parts to their reunion, okay, after the altar. So let's go ahead and talk about part 1. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Listen, the episode opens up with Giannina. Okay, y'all know Giannina, and I hope I say her name right because I have been messing it up for the longest. I may just call her Gia. Okay, Giannina was dating Damian, and when she got to the altar, y'all know she said she do to Damian, and Damian said I don't to her, and it just shattered her world. She ran out and everything. Child, I think she kicked the shoes off her feet, honey. She done ran down the hill and around the corner. She was pressed. She was torn apart from that. But she said that later on that night, they ended up talking. They realized that they still have love for each other. He's just not in a space where he wants to marry. And so they've been dating for the past 2 years since the show has gone off. She FaceTimes her mom. Her mom calls Damian her son. And she's like, girl, where my son is? How he doing? What's going on? Okay. And she's like, oh, well, you know, he's fine. He's okay. But her mama can kind of sense that something is a bit wrong with her. And what we do learn is that they are having a few problems at the moment, but they're continuing to try and push through. But the way her mom was talking to her mama was talking to her like, you know, you guys are a good couple, right? You know, I really like for you guys to be together, right? You know, I really want this more than you want it. She was talking to her daughter like her daughter is the problem in the relationship and that she needs to get it together. But I don't know if it's Giannina. I really always felt like it could have been Damian. And as the episode progresses, I kind of see why. All right. I don't know what Giannina is holding on to when it comes to Damian, but I agree with Diamond when Diamond's like, girl, you can go out here and get any man that you want. Stop just hanging on to Damian. All right. What else did we see? All right. They don't live together at this time. Giannina and Damian, they are not living together. They're living 2 separate households. And right now, it doesn't seem like there's much progression towards marriage at all. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on because we're going to dive more into Miss Giannina at a later time. But let's go ahead and move on into Cameron and Lauren. Y'all know we love us some Cameron and Lauren. They were one of the 2 couples that ended up actually going through with the marriage. And, you know, I'm loving some Lauren and Cameron. Cameron was the white guy or is the white guy. I believe he's an AI specialist or something like that, artificial intelligence specialist or something. Had a really good job, had his own house and stuff. You had Miss Lauren over here. I believe she was into like marketing and things like that. So ever since they've been on this show, you know, their careers have just shot. At least in the entertainment world, it has really shot up out there. So she, you know, it's her birthday, so they get ready to make some chicken and stuff. She over there looking at Cam like, Cam, did you wash the chicken? He was like, yeah. And she was like, Cam, you ain't washed that chicken, did you? And he didn't, y'all. And I'm really pressed about that. Like, sir, you've been living in this house with this black woman for how long? She been up here cooking your meals. You ain't learned nothing. Okay, now see, this is sad. Not only do white people not want to wash their bodies, child, they don't even want to wash their chicken. Girl, I can't. Okay, I can't. The least you can do is wash the chicken. You ain't gonna wash your ass. I can't deal, honey. But he would not wash that chicken, and he's something you don't have to wash chicken according to the governmental organizations. This and that. She was like, honey, I don't believe in none of that. Be quiet. I feel like you do need to wash the chicken. You do need to clean the chicken, okay? Because when I'm cleaning the chicken, I see how dirty the water gets. All right, I see how dirty it gets. Pour it out, rinse it again. It's still a little dirty. Pour it out, okay, until the water gets a bit more clear. So I don't see nothing wrong with washing your chicken. You don't know what the hell kind of plant it came from and how they was transporting this and transferring. Wash that chicken. So I definitely felt the way about that. All right. And this was for her birthday. So his parents was over. Her dad was over. I believe that was her brother that was also over. So they enjoyed a nice meal. So that was good. They ended up bringing up how they're about to do a dual anniversary with the Barnetts. And you know, that's Amber and Barnett. I'm not sure what Barnett's real name is, but they're about to do like a dual anniversary party. So what a great time for the entire cast to come back to celebrate them. This is awesome. I am enjoying it so far watching this first episode, but I do wish that they would have gave us like 2 more episodes. Like why couldn't be like 5 episodes? Because I want to see what's going to be happening in these people's lives. Like I want to know what's going on. So can they get like a season maybe? Possibly could they get a season? I mean, I ain't gonna complain too much. I'll take this little 3-part commercial that y'all done gave us. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So they said Damian and Gianna will also be there. They said Who else? Carlton and Diamond will also be there as well. And there's a concern because, you know, last time Carlton and Diamond, they had some issues because Carlton went this entire time parading himself around as though he was a straight man, when indeed he was actually a bisexual man, and he did not feel comfortable coming out earlier on because I guess he felt as though she wouldn't accept him or anything. And then after she found out about it, she kind of felt betrayed, and how he handled the situation, to me, in my opinion, was just not good at all. Okay, so you was the one that was wrong. You're the one that withheld information. You allowed you guys to get this far into the relationship and you not disclose very important information about you. I feel like she had every right to feel betrayed by him. What else do we have here? They also invited Jessica. Now Lauren seemed like she didn't really care for Jessica. That's what I gathered from Miss Lauren. It was like, oh, y'all invited her? Okay, then I ain't invite her, but y'all did. I mean, I guess that's fine, because people are not necessarily featuring Miss Jessica based on how she left Mark hanging. Right, she left Mark hanging at the altar. Mark really thought that they were going to end up being married. It seems like she kept comparing Mark to Barnett, which is Amber's husband, because that's who Jessica really wanted to be with, which was Barnett, but Barnett wanted Amber at the time. So it seems like she was just playing Mark just to, you know, get along further in the show. That's how it definitely came off. So a lot of people ain't really been featuring Miss Jessica. Like, she went through a lot of dark stuff after this show that she had to get away. And we'll talk about that too later on. All right. Now, we also learned that Lauren and Cameron are actually planning to have children next year. But, you know, I think Lauren is a little worried, okay? It's a lot to think about how her life is going to change once she has these kids, how the relationship could change, how her body is going to change. So she got a lot of thoughts going on. But she also knows that she ain't getting no younger, might as well do this, which is go ahead and have these kids. So they said that they're going to start planning for that next year. So I just hope, should she decide to have children, or they decide to have children, I hope that it's not going to be as hard on her as she may think. I hope she has a lot of help, and that is, you know, she may have her moments, but I hope that it's going to be a good process for her. All right. Because I understand she just got her career up and off the ground, like 2 years ago. The pandemic hit. Really, it got to popping in 2019 when the show first aired, like in February. And then during the quarantine, all of that stuff happened. So she just got her career off the ground, and then here it is. She had to sit down, calm all that down due to the pandemic. And then now, you know, things are opening back up, so she's able to go and do more stuff. And then now here it is. Oh my God, we're about to bring in another child. Like, that's something we're thinking about, or we're about to bring in our first child. So that's a lot going on in her mind. She probably doesn't feel like she's where she needs to be in her career to bear children right now. But hopefully everything works out for her. Okay, girl. So good luck. All right, let's go over to Diamond. Diamond is talking to her homegirl Ebony. Now, she met Ebony on the show, but they didn't necessarily show us Ebony. So I don't necessarily remember Ebony, because there were some ladies, I believe like Lily, were a part of the show, but they didn't really get a lot of camera time. And maybe that was based on their connections or something. But she ended up continuing her relationship with Ebony. So she links up with Ebony at her shop or her bar or wherever she's at. Ebony gets her there. And Ebony's like, listen, I got a friend for you. His name is Rumil or something like that. He's over there in the corner. So she goes over, she sits down, she entertains Rumil. She thinks that he's her type. They're enjoying conversations about each other. The only thing that made me raise an eyebrow a little bit, and maybe it was just me, he asked her, like, which one of those cars out there is yours? What the fuck? Why? He was like, can I walk you to your car? She said, no, you can't. Because she was like, it's around the corner. He was like, oh, can I walk you to the car? She was like, no. And I'm like, hell no, you can't. What you mean? Which one of them cars out there is mine? That's a different type of question. Because, see, that made me think you trying to see what kind of one, like, you probably judging her off the type of car that she got. Oh, she riding in a Mercedes, then she's like this. Oh, she got a Honda, then she like this. Like, that's the energy it was giving me. So I'm like, what was the question of that? Because at the end of the day, if she parked outside, you know, she got a car outside, you could have just said, you want me to walk you to your car? What was that? Okay, which one of them cars there is yours? Why? You finna rob me? What's happening? I don't know about that. Now, when it comes to Barnett and Amber, you know, they're still going strong. Everything is going well with them. They're excited about the anniversary party that's coming up. They call Jessica Voldemort. I think that's the right name. They call Miss Thing Voldemort, honey. Miss Amber is still not over the way Miss Jessica tried to come in between both of them after he had already chosen to be with Amber. Amber is still pressed about Jessica. She says that she thinks it would be awkward and weird for Jessica to show up to a celebration of a married couple that she was trying to get in the middle of. And I was like, oh, girl, well, you kind of got a point right there, girl. oh, but I mean, you know, if they was gonna pay the coin, she probably was like, yeah, I'll show up. I'll pay the, you know, I'll get my little checks, let everybody know that I'm in better mental health or whatever, honey. So, you know, that's what Miss Jessica did. She showed up. Now, later on, we get to Carlton and Lauren. Okay. So Carlton says that he was in a very dark space once he left this show. I believe that he was, you know, I think a lot of America was in uproar about how he handled Diamond. Not only the information that he withheld from her, but just how he handled her once he told her the information and her response about it. She wasn't really pushing him away or anything, but she just had questions that needed answers, because had you did this the right way earlier on, it would have been easier, but you didn't. You waited till y'all got this far. So at this point, she got questions and she's concerned about things, about how he handled it. He handled it wrong. He handled it like he was on, like it was a defense for him based on his past. And I feel like that energy showed up again as he was sitting down with Lauren. So Diamond, his issue was, you know, he was married or engaged. He was engaged to Diamond, and I'm speaking on how he treated her. But the sit down that he had with Lauren, I kind of saw some of that energy kind of flare back up. What else do I want to say? What else do we have here? He says he feels like the people in their circle do not F with him at all. And people in the circle, meaning the cast, they don't F with him at all. And I think they don't F with him based on how he handled her. And he has to accept his accountability and what he did wrong in that situation. Overall, instead of making her feel like she's the problem, she did something wrong, when all she really was trying to do at the time was really be there for you and try to understand you. But you're so used to being misunderstood that you couldn't allow her room for that. The same way I feel you were showing up with the sit down with Lauren. Okay, now he goes on to speak on he doesn't think that she could love someone like him. Lauren says, well, are you sure? How you know that? Like, you don't know whether or not she could do that. He was like, yeah. She was like, I think she told him, like, let's talk about it. He was like, yeah, let's talk about biphobia in the Black community or whatever. And so she, you know, he wanted to chime in on that. What else did she say? She told him, like, you know, you're coming off as though you're angry, and I get it, like you're a very passionate person. I'm passionate too. And he says, you're right, I am passionate. Sometimes I have to be on the defense, but it's kind of like you're having a conversation with your homegirl. There's no need, if you're coming to her to talk to her about this means that you trust her with this information. So why are you on the defense right now? Like, just talk, just get it out. But I mean, I don't really like how he said it. I understand if you're frustrated. I understand if you don't like how people, you know, perceive you out here. Primarily, I don't think it has anything to do with you being a bisexual man or whatever. I think it was just about how you handled her, and didn't really acknowledge what it was that you did wrong throughout the, you know, the entire thing. It felt like you was putting up a facade, you know, as though you're one way, but then she finds out you're a completely different way. And then when she has questions about it, because she doesn't understand, she's trying to understand, and you know, lash out at her. So he kind of did the same thing to Lauren. He goes on to tell her that he started taking a shot at her out of nowhere, taking a shot at her about her being a Black woman married to a white man, and people putting him on TV, making him look stupid. And she's like, whoa, so you deduced me down to that low? Like, that's what you think of me? He was like, yeah, because I always had your back in the comments. Even when people was going off on you, I was having your back in the comments when people was talking. And she just kind of like, well, that went left. I'm here to support you, but you threw me under the bus because of how you feeling about your own situation, and trying to make me feel that same way, even though I'm just trying to sympathize and understand. You trying to, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he once again handled that situation wrong. And I hope while he was in that dark place, even though it doesn't seem like it, I hope he went and got some of the therapy that he felt he needed, since he was in such a dark space. I'm not disputing the fact that he was, because he probably was, because I think social media was on his ass. I do. I do think a lot of people felt as though you're not bi, you're gay. I kind of felt that way, in all honesty, based on how he presented himself a little bit. It was like, I felt like he was doing too much to make it appear as though he's a straight man. Like, he was trying to like, what's up, baby? Like, would you marry me? And I'm like, I've never seen you act like that ever, especially when you've been on Real Housewives or anything. You always acted normal. Why did you feel the need to overperform for her? And then you get her in this space and then you end up deciding to be honest. Because it seems like, I believe the producers probably made him be honest about his sexuality when he probably had no intentions on ever telling her. I think that's how it went, because I think he was like feeling pressure, and he was like in his head a lot, and it was really bothering him, and she was confused, like, what's going on? Like, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. So he was pressured. I don't think he was ever going to tell her that. Right. And if you want to be married to this girl, this is some information she would need to know ahead of time. Like, other than that, you marrying her on some lies or whatever. So I was just a little like, are you just like, what is it? Okay, just let her know. But again, I feel like it's probably easier for me to say that than done, because I'm not in that bisexual community or anything like that. So I feel like I would never fully understand how he feels. And then I'm a woman versus a man, you know. So yeah, so that's that. You know, I felt like he kind of came at Lauren wrong. Still feel like he handled the situation wrong when it came down to Diamond. And we'll see if he learned from his mistakes, because he must have done some other stuff. Because I think even after the show went off, he started getting on social media saying all kind of fly stuff and disrespectful stuff to Diamond. So it's not just you. He tried to make it seem like people just don't like him because he's bi. No. It's your actions. It's the things that you have done since you have came out and told her where you are with things, you know, and didn't even really give her a chance to like express herself or get an understanding or anything. You ain't allow her that. But that's that on that, y'all. I can talk about that all day. But that's it. That's it on Carlton and stuff. All right. So that's that. We'll see how that's gonna play out though on the next two parts, because I haven't seen it yet. I'm watching it in increments. Okay. Now, when it comes to Cameron, Damian, and Barnett, you know, they're all working out. You know, they're having them a good old time. They're talking about kids. Cam says that you know, he's open to having kids. They're not in a rush, but they also are not using condoms at this time. Same thing with Barnett. Barnett says that they're living in an apartment right now. And I was like, an apartment? I said, didn't they have a house? And I was so glad once I said that, they start playing the playback as to where he is now. So he did have a house. He sold that house. He moved into an apartment with his wife and her roommate to when he sold that house, the money he got was to pay off student loans. Now, he said just pay off student loans. I want to believe that they were her student loans, because she was the one that was in debt like that. She was the one that had student loans and other like makeup, running up credit card bills on makeup and all this other stuff. So what he did was downsize completely to live in with her. And that's where they are. But he also wants to have kids, but he wants to make sure that they are more financially stable, in my opinion, so that they'll be able to bring the kids into an actual home, have their own space, play area, all of that, versus him cramping into an apartment with her roommate, because he feels like that's selfish for them to have a child and this roommate didn't ask for this, and then they got to deal with the wine and all this extra that's going on. So I understand where Barnett was coming from. Damian too says that he wants kids as well. Child, I don't know. I think Damian wants the kids without the commitment. That's just what I think, but we about to get into that. So we see LC, we've got Diamond, you got Giannina, and then you also have Jessica pops up. Let me tell y'all something. Jessica looks stressed and old. Okay, she looks old and stressed out. That's just, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on over there, but baby girl look like she's still going through it. Woo-hoo. So we learned that she fled ATL and relocated to Cali, because I think once the show went off, she left Atlanta. I think she went back home to like Tennessee or something, and then now she's far out in California. So she needed that restart, right? Giannina talks about her sex life, because at one point during the first season, she was pretty much telling Damian that his sex was not good. But she said, if you guys are having conversations about sex, you know, within your relationship, then you should expect it to get better. I'm like, okay then, girl. She just said quite a few things that were a bit confusing to me, okay? But she also goes on to say that Damian, she thinks he's feeling the pressure again. They've been in this relationship for 2 years. They're not living with each other. And she's at a place of what's next? Like, what are the next steps that we're going to make in our relationship? Is it going to be us moving in together? Are we going to get engaged? What's happening? And I'm just like, I'm like, girl, that ain't your man. So this is what made me say it ain't your man. One of the girls, it was either Diamond or Elsie, said, are you guys seeing other people? And she was like, no, I don't think we are. I said, that's not her man. She don't know. She thinks that's her man because that's the desire of her heart. But I think that her and Damian, they may just be dating, but not exclusively. You know what I'm saying? They may just be kicking it or something, because I don't think he's taking her as serious. I could be wrong. We'll see how things are developing, but I hope she doesn't waste too much time on him. Hopefully he can make a decision. She says that she doesn't want to lose him. She's like, no, I don't think that we're dating other people, but I really care about him. I really love him. He's my family. I want to be with him. And I'm like, you need to make sure that this is what he too wants as well. Okay, Jessica lets us know that she is dating now. All right, and after her experience on the show, like I said, she definitely took a step back. Okay, now she continues, in my opinion, she continues to lie and tell us that she was in love with Mark. I said, girl, you weren't in love with that man. Why is you lying to America? You was not in love with that man, girl. Cut it, okay? Cut it out. You was not in love, all right? Elsie tells her and blurts out, oh, I slept with Mark. And I was like, bitch, we barely remember you on the show. And you did what? She slept with Mark. So this is what happened. I don't know at what point the show ended, but she was messing around with Mark. They were dating, and she got ready to take him to the airport to catch a flight. I guess to go see his family or whatever. Like a day later, she sees on Reddit him hanging out with a whole nother woman. And she's like, what is this? All cuddled up, snugged up. She's confused, right? Because she's thinking they're dating. She thinks they're smashing and messing around and stuff, but he got other girls in different area codes and stuff, zip codes and stuff. And so she learns that this girl is also the girl that he is now, the girl that's now pregnant with his child. So this girl is now pregnant with him. She says the next day she finds this out, she hits the girl up. This is before the girl got pregnant. Lets her know, hey, I didn't know anything about you. I was just with Mark, all this other stuff. She said the girl saw the message, the girl never responded, and it was in that moment she realized the girl is going to stay with him. Okay, she was not going to let that good DIC go, and whoever he was to her, all right, she was not about to let that go. Jessica uses this moment to let us know something that we did not know. Jessica says, that's interesting that you say that, because when we were engaged, actually, he was gone for like 2 hours or whatever. And I hit him up like, yo, where have you been? And he was like, oh, I was comforting, my friend, her dad just died or whatever. And she was like, oh, you was gone for this long to comfort somebody regarding their father dying? Like something didn't make sense. And she said that she learned that he was messing around with that girl, and he was messing around with a few other girls. And I believe one of the girls he was messing around with is still that same girl that he got pregnant. So, but I feel like, Jessica, I hear your story. We hear you, but some part of me still has no sympathy for you based on how you treated him while you were on the show. And you found out about a lot of that after you had broken up with him. Okay. So I hear that. Yes, you trashed for that after the fact, but my eyes still on you based on how you treated him throughout the season, because you used him as a scapegoat or just somebody to have, because ultimately you wanted Barnett and you thought that you were going to be able to get that, and you disrespected Mark quite a few times when you were in that relationship or whatever. So I'm still side-eyeing you, girl, okay? Despite what all he got going on, because he's going to have to answer to that hopefully before, this show go off, hopefully somewhere within this reunion. And lastly, we can see where because I knew something was off when I heard Giannina talk about Damian, and then she started saying, I don't think we're dating other people. I'm like, girl, you don't know? It should be no, we're absolutely not. We're in a full-blown relationship. Like, that's what she should have said, but it didn't sound right. So when he pulled up to the restaurant and he's greeting this girl, and he was like, hey, beautiful, I'll be there in a second. Let me park. I said, oh, that ain't Giannina. Soon as she hit that corner and I saw them lips, I said, oh, that ain't her. And he's sitting down at the restaurant with a whole other chick that he had already been caught out with by way of paparazzi. And I'm sure that has to be a part of the issue that's within the relationship between he and Giannina. But you out here hanging out with the same girl that you was out here caught with. And I'm like, girl, this is not your man. Girl, go out here and find you somebody else, because I do not know about Damian. Talking about Miss Francesca is here only for, he said she only came in town for a photo shoot or whatever. And I'm like, okay, just because she came don't mean you got to go and meet her. What's going on with that? Okay, they won't be getting married, but that's all I got. I hope you guys are enjoying Love is Blind After the Altar, the reunion. It's a 3-part. Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're also enjoying this review. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.